Good evening again, everybody. My name is Ini Akpan, also known as Ini Wright, and it's my honor to moderate today's session. Today, we'll be talking about inclusion in politics, women, youths, and people with disability. Tonight, also, our teacher, our speaker is, and our facilitator, whatever you want to use, is Lois Auta. She's going to be teaching us tonight. She's a diversity and inclusion expert for over a decade. She has been, doing this for over a decade. She's a local and global disability advocate, a human rights defender, a global citizen, a young global leader of the World Economic Forum, a Mandela Washington Fellow, a Ashoka Changemaker Scholar, and a conscious politician. She's the founder of Cedar Seed Foundation, network of women with disabilities, e-ability platform. She's the founder also of Women on Wheels, Multipurpose Cooperative Society, and Disabled People in Leadership Initiative. She was part of Vision 2020, Nigeria's economic goals. Lois Auta is presently a member of Nigeria's medium-term development plan for 2021 to 2025 and Nigeria's Agenda 2050. She sits on different boards of trustees as a member and chair. She is also a member of the Technical Committee on Private Sector for Nigeria's Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. Her Excellency Dame Pauline Talen. Lois has placed Nigeria on the global map several times, and she's a woman of many firsts. She's an award winner locally and globally. She's a polio survivor, and a woman with multiple abilities who inspires our world. Now, that's a very impressive CV, and I would like you to unmute yourself if you can. Put your hands together. Let me see in the chat. Let me hear your voice as you welcome our dear speaker tonight. It's such an honor to have her here, and I really look forward to tonight's session. So please welcome her with a resounding applause.
Welcome. Good to have you. Welcome.
Welcome. You are muted. Please unmute.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good to have you here. So good to see you.
Yes, I'm so pleased to be here this evening. Thank you, everyone, for the warm welcome. I so much appreciate it. Yes, to begin the class, my name remains Lois Auta, and I'm a woman with disability, yes, but multiple abilities. I mention this everywhere I go to let people know that Lois Auta has 99.9 abilities. It's only 1% of disability that affected my legs, which was polio when I was 2 years old. Yes, I'm 41 years now. Through the grace of God, my family, well-wishers, and those that believe in me, I'm able to be here today. And I give them all the credit. I give God all the honor for the good things He has been doing in my life. I'm sorry I'm starting with my story. I'm not going to waste your time because I only have few points to discuss with you. But let me share a little bit about Lois Auta, my practical story, what has happened to me before now. When I grew up and I found myself differently from other children in my family, my compound, my school, my church, and everywhere I went to, I became so sad. Low self-esteem set in. I suffered from inferiority complex until God used my mom and said, Lois, you have to be strong. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be grateful to God for being alive. And another good thing is for you to be proud of who you are. Then at that point, I began to listen to my mom. God was speaking to me through her. That's why forever, my mom remained my mentor for life, my role model. May her soul rest in peace. And you could imagine a woman that so much believed in me. Her friends, neighbors were telling her, don't waste your resources on this girl. She's not going to be useful to you. But my mom gave them deaf ears. She prioritized my issues in the family than any other child, including my dad. Do you know some of my siblings always come through me to get something from my parents because I was their favorite. No discrimination, no stigmatization, no marginalization in Auta's family. I was treated like a princess. The last words my mom told me before she died, she gathered all of us as if she knew she was going to die in 2011. She gathered all of us. And when she got to me, she said, Lois, I know who you are. I know what you can do. And I know that even in death, you're going to make me proud. These are powerful words that I'll never forget. And I will also never forget the day I was selected as a Mandela Washington Fellow. The first person I called to inform was my dad. And he said, I have 11 children. Out of 11, 8 are men, 3 are women. And out of these 11 children, you're the only one that took my name globally. Not only Auta's name, but even Nigeria. You placed Nigeria on the global map in many opportunities that you have. This thing you did for my name will never go in vain. Those words inspired me to tears. Then I looked at myself. I said, who am I that such powerful words are coming from my parents? It's so sad that both of them are not alive, but they have done their part. They have played their part as the best parents in the world and gave me education. They gave me what I needed. They gave me the best gifts in the world. And through them, I'm a woman of the first. Is it the first woman with disability from Africa named a young global leader? Is it the first woman that ran for House of Representatives in the House of I ran for House of Representatives in 2019. Records was broken, history was made. As the first woman that ran with 4,080 candidates. This has inspired women, it has inspired youth, it has also inspired persons with disabilities to run for future elections. I will never forget when we were on a live studio. We were on a live studio when a man called in and said, "Madam, you cannot go anywhere with this vision of yours of running for office of the House of Representatives." I thank God the founder of this organization is here in person of Kule. We were 3 in that studio, 2 men and I, and the 3 of us were running for House of Representatives. And this man called and said, "Madam, you are not going anywhere. Go back home and sleep." Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm a woman with disability? Or is it because of other factors? Is it ethnicity? Is it religion? Is it inadequate funding? Why did he have to call my name? It was because of attitudinal barrier. He never believed a person with disability can occupy an elective office. He saw me as an object of pity. And that is why we need to remove attitudinal barrier from the general public. When we see persons with disabilities, we should first of all see the person before the assistive device, before the wheelchair, before the hearing aid, and other mobility aids that the person is using. Then what about infrastructural barriers? I remember during my campaign, I couldn't go to everywhere because some places are inaccessible. Some places you have to cross a river, and they are not motorable. What about institutional barriers? These are barriers that are stopping women, they are stopping youth, They are stopping persons with disabilities to run for office effectively with impact because of the policies and laws we have on ground. Yes, we have beautiful policies, but the implementation is a big issue. In United Nations Convention of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Article 29 to be precise, mention that persons with disabilities have the right to participate in politics. Same with Section 5 and 6 of the Nigerian Disability Act. In the country today, women are protesting because their rights are not given to them. And I'm one of the protesters. I want to be sure that you're listening to me before I proceed.
You can hear you, ma.
Okay. So in running for office, you need to engage critical stakeholders. You need to be sure that these people believe in your vision. They believe in your capacity. They believe in your character, credibility, competency to be able to win your election. And what is generative power? Which power are you looking for? If each person in a community were at the peak level of personal power, the community would also maximize the collective power. Sources of power such as ideas, drive, imagination, innovation, and vision could be fully tapped by providing the energy and agency for civic and political engagement. Likewise, a country is stronger when its inhabitants and localities, including the vulnerable people, are fully able to realize their capabilities and contribute to the country as a whole. And how will you contribute? Some of us are in our houses, schools, and other places complaining about this country. What are you doing to change the world? What are you doing to change Nigeria? What are you doing to change your LGA, your state? This is a democratic ideal and one of the generative power rather than zero-sum thinking is to go out there and tell the whole world that you're ready to lead, not just running for office. You can be a leader in many different capacities. So being a leader, are you really informed? Do you have what it takes to run for offices and win?
How are you? Welcome.
So according to Role Cardanilo from International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, the acronym IDEA, political inclusion is vital to sustainable democracy. It was published in 2017. Political inclusion is vital to sustainable democracy. No voice should be unheard. No one should be left behind. No one should be subject to any form of exclusion. And they went further to say that for democracy to be sustainable, everyone has to be involved. Not minding your status, not minding your age, not minding your disability, not minding your gender, because leadership does not have those qualities. Leadership does not have gender. Leadership does not have age limits. Leadership does not have to be for a rich person or for a poor person. One thing that people look out for in leaders is passion. Are you truly passionate? Passionate to make things happen for yourself, for your family, and the society? Working to achieve political inclusion is fraught with challenges. Are you ready to face the challenges? Are you ready to swallow the insult, the criticism that you face from your colleagues, from your friends, and even your family? Famous among these challenges is the increasing difficulty by which the needs and aspirations of citizens can connect with accountable and representative political institutions. Democratic institutions and processes are often mistrusted. And that's why I mentioned credibility among the qualities of a great leader. That's why I was so proud of youth of this country during the NSAS. They were holding government accountable. They don't longer trust this government. They are asking government to be accountable, to be transparent in their dealings with Nigerians' resources. We could see how collaborative they were. They were ready to support anybody. They slept there for many days because they want to see change happen in this country. It was so sad that some of the protesters were killed. For me, they died for good. This is because they see no difference with who is in power. And they believed in their voices that no matter what is going in this country, they can influence change. So for me, NSAS protesters are transformational leaders. Yes, they are. Their objective was to transform this country, was to change this country. And if they were allowed, that objective would have been achieved by now. I was in a forum when one of the House of Representatives member spoke about their feelings during the NSAS protest. He said at that point in time, he only come out at night. He was afraid of going out from his own house. He told us he was indoors because he don't know what will happen in the next minute. So if someone from the parliament could give us that kind of testimony, that means we are getting closer. We're getting closer. And we need to help each other. We need to support each other. We need to be collaborative and ensure that participation and inclusion of women, young people, and persons with disabilities are represented from the federal to the state to the local government levels, both elective and appointive positions. We are tired of the exclusion. We are tired of the underrepresentation. And that's why you, yes, you in this class this evening, need to keep thinking of how to change this country. We are 60 in the class from what I can see. So if 60 people can share ideas, innovative ideas, like the answers. NSAS is one of the good things that happened to this country. So what can you do for your country? What are your plans? To ensure the inclusivity, the equal representation, equal opportunities of this group of people. are given their rights. So I have some few points to share with you. What is the link between poverty and marginalization? Have we been able to accept this fact? Collective action via networking and alliance building is very key. Are we championing this front well enough? Are we ready to set up a political party? Are we ready to raise funds for those that are running for offices? Are we ready to run a social media campaign for those that are running for office? Women, young people, persons with disabilities have similar challenges. Can we come together collectively and strategize and come up with actions that will make some of the leaders in this country think twice before taking any silly action on her citizens? What about cultural and security contexts? Have we successfully identified the correlation between these two contexts as being intertwined? Another good point is education. Are we consciously mentoring young people, persons with disabilities, young women on political participation? The older people, well experienced, well exposed, those that are experts in their professions and careers, are they ready? Are they willing to take up the hands of these young people, persons with disabilities, and young women to mentor them? What about political and religious leaders? What are they saying in our churches and mosques? Do you know politics starts from the family, to the church, to the mosques, to the school? Professor Schwab of World Economic Forum has once told us during his speeches that everyone is a political person, that nobody in this world that is not a politician. The question is, are you a conscious politician? Are you kind? Are you nice to people? That's what I'm so proud of Mr. Kunle and his colleagues. He's always training people, teaching people on how to be reasonable, on how to start championing causes that calls for inclusion. He has trained many, and he's still training many to come. But after the training, do we use this lessons we have learned to put them into practice? Do we have time to check our presentations from resource persons, from the class, to think about taking an action, even if it means volunteering at secondary school to teach young people about leadership? Is something. God is recording it. And volunteerism is one of the good things that some people are shying away. So we need to start imbibing the spirit of volunteerism and commitment. Commit yourself to what you're doing, be focused, and always pursue your goals and your objectives in life. Someday, you will record it as a milestone. That objective, that goal, will now turn to a milestone or an achievement. What about the role of judiciary and our human rights institutions? As custodians of the law, are they really satisfied with the status quo? And that's why people in this room, in this call, must stand to challenge the status quo. If our human rights institutions failed us, let not the youth, women, and persons with disabilities fail this country. So, I have few recommendations for everyone in the class today, especially those that are aspiring to run for office. How can we support one another? How can we engage women, youth, and persons with disabilities in the political sphere? Those are very sensitive questions we need to ask ourselves by taking actions. And what are those actions? Leave your comfort zones, come out and run for offices. Come out and lead. So by running for office, you need to register as a political party member. You need to be a card-carrying member of a political party. You need to engage in all political activities in your party, from the grassroots to whatever level you think of. So first action that you can take is to join a political party. After joining the political party, be involved actively. After being involved actively, then you can now say, I want to run for elective office. Then you have to start by consultations and permutations from the key and critical stakeholders, starting from your political party. Because if you leave your political party and go to religious leaders, private sector, public sector, and other places without informing your political party. By the time they hear that you want to run for office, you say, ah, she did not inform us. We are hearing from your mouth. So you have to start consultations with your political party. This is your idea. You want to run. What are their ideas for you to run for that office? So after consultations, then set up a fundraising team, both online and physical. Experts on fundraising. To tell you the truth, you cannot run for office effectively without resources. You need human resources and material resources. What about setting up a campaign team? Your DG, officer in charge of media, and all other relevant offices that you need. Mobilization officer, and other officers that will help you in running for a campaign. A campaign that is not just a campaign, but a campaign that will be memorable. I ran only once, but my running for office has changed my life in every aspect. I was so shocked in 2020 when I traveled to Akwa Ibom for a program that I was invited by Yaga. The resource person came from Ghana. During his presentation, my e-flyer came up on his screen. And I shouted. He said, why did you shout? Then I told him, that's my e-flyer. So the impact of Lois Auta's running for office in 2019 is so much. You see my story in New York. The award. In this month of March, I have received multiple awards internationally and locally. Next week, I'm supposed to be in Lagos to receive another award from Leading Ladies Africa. Why? Because of the history of Lois Auta running for office or ran for office in 2019 elections. So as youth, we need to keep building our skills. We need to have a development approach that will foster our engagement with political actors, systems, and processes. We also need to engage as active participants in the electoral process. And as we do that, people will recognize our efforts. Sometimes you don't need to be the one to tell the world that you want to run for office. By the time you are active, people have seen your passion, people have seen your achievements, your antecedents, and many other records of progress, of results and impact. They look out for you. That's why you need to come out of your comfort zones, be passionate about what you're doing, and before you know it, God will start providing what you need to thrive in your political career, your academic career, and whatever career or profession that you have. In conclusion, I want to quote Terry Dew, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Meridian. He says, when diversity is a primary value, everything changes. In today's world, diversity, representation, and opportunity are economically imperative. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. God bless Electoral College and everyone on the call this evening.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. It's been an amazing session. Thank you very much. So we'll move there quickly into the Q&A session. We have 45 minutes for Q&A. If you have any questions, please tap the three dots at the bottom of your screen or where you have more and raise your hand. We'll have you on mute and ask your questions directly. Please raise your hands if you have questions. Okay, Ruth has a question. Right, so while we wait for others to raise their hands.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just take Ruth's question.
Good evening. Good evening, Lois.
Yeah, good evening, Ruth. How are you?
Thank you. I'm excellent. Thank you so much. Like, you are such an inspiration. I've heard your story. I've read your story several times, but it just never gets old. And I must say that you're a big inspiration to all of us. So my question is, I know that you go through some challenges. So tell me, like, maybe for maybe even a cousin or a distant relation or someone I know, where do you get the strength, the inner strength every day to get up and keep going? Because I know that some days it may feel like you may feel like I am done, like this is it, I am not trying anymore. And then the next day you get up right again, and then you go and you keep like breaking all these records and setting new records. I mean, it is so inspirational. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for that amazing question. Yeah, my source of inspiration comes from God first, then secondly, from people around me. I have passion to see persons with disabilities excelling in their endeavors. I want to see them being included. Is it in the political sphere? Is it in the educational system? Is it in health? In every area of their lives. I want to see them improving day by day. So just like you rightly said, at times I feel like, no, I'm not going out today. Let me turn off my phone and sleep. Even if they look for me, they won't get me. At times, I feel these things are are not necessary. Let me just be. Just recently, I was telling my husband that I'm feeling depressed. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like let me just be alone. So as leaders, sometimes you have your good moments and your bad moments. Moments of the highs and moments of the lows, where you feel nothing is important, nothing is significant in your life, and you feel like giving up. But I want to tell you this evening that the greatness of you is in you. The power of you is in you. You need to be strengthened day by day by reading the word of God, getting closer to God, asking God questions, talking to him, because that's my inspiration. God has been my help. He has been the source of everything I am today. So first of all, believe in God, be bold, be resilient. And make sure you inspire the world. Thank you so much, Ruth. Hello, Umi. Are you here?
Yes, thank you very much, Ma. Thank you thank you, Lois. Thank you, Ruth, for that question. I take it that we don't have any more questions because I do not see any hands raised. And that would mean that our teacher tonight has been awesome and we've understood everything that she said and we do not have any areas that require clarification. Okay, so we'll put a lead on that since we do not see any hands raised. So Lois, do you have any final words for us as we close tonight?
Yes, final words. I only have few words, just 3 words. Keep challenging the challenges.
Awesome.
We have challenges, but keep challenging the challenges until the challenges become inclusion, representation, and equality. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. It's been such an inspiring session. Wow, wow. And the comments, I mean, I can tell from the comments, I'm not just the only one who has been inspired by this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. And thank you again, Ruth, because I know that was, a really useful question. Thanks for asking that question. Okay, guys, so let's unmute and thank our speaker for tonight. Thank you so much, Lois. You can unmute yourself and thank her.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lois.
you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everybody.
Lois.
So
Good to hear your
mindful.
voice again.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you. God
I
bless you.
love you. I
God
love
bless you. We
you.
love you
Thank
more.
you.
I love you.
Bless you.
I love you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending tonight's session. We'll meet again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Now we have been inspired, so, go write all those things that you need to do to be able to participate in the next elections. Let's not waste this inspiration. Let's channel our inspiration, into changing our nation. So from here, it's good night from all of us at Electoral College. We'll see you again tomorrow for another amazing session. Good night, everyone.